Hi folks, it's Switchback. Backpacking backpacks have a lot of different parts to them, and if you're not familiar with the verbiage or what things are called, then it can be really confusing when you're trying to shop for one. And so I wanted to go over the basics of the parts of backpacking packs. Some packs will have all of these, very few of them. Most will have some of them. A handful will have very few of them if they're really minimalist. One thing that's really important to know is that your size has nothing to do with your clothing size. It has everything to do with your spine length. So as you can see, all of my packs are actually extra smalls, and I am most definitely not an extra small when it comes to my clothing. Lean your head forward to find the C7 bony prominence, which will be a little lump in the back of your neck. Then you're going to put your hands on the tops of your hip bones, which are called the iliac crests. The line between your two thumbs is going to be the bottom part of the measurement. So you can place one thumb there in the middle of that, the other at your C7. The measurement between those determines the size of pack that you need. There are a few different frame types. So these are all internal frame packs. This is a more modern style, very, very common. I don't have any frameless ones, but there are ones that are frameless. They don't have that structure to them. So these ones being internal framed, there is a piece of metal that, or composite or whatever, that will go around here to provide some structure for that pack. A frameless pack works really well for a weight that's maybe 20 pounds or less, just depends on the pack, but none of my loads are ever that light, so I do not own a frameless pack. But the internal frame supports that weight better than not having a frame. Prior to these, you saw a lot of external frame packs. I wish I still had mine. I donated it several years ago, but an external frame pack can actually carry a heavier load than an internal frame pack. So that's something to think about. A lot of hunters, for example, will still use an external frame pack, and you can put more on the outsides of those than you can an internal frame pack, which will have the weight thrown off if you strap a bunch of different things on the outside. Next, we have shoulder straps, and these, of course, are going to go over your shoulders and provide some of the support for the weight of the load. To connect those, you have a sternum strap. And this will snap across your chest. Like so. And some of them will have a whistle. The whistles that come on these are mediocre. I would not rely on this for saving your life. On the tops of your shoulder straps, you'll see these other straps. These are called load lifters. And what these do is bring your backpack load closer to your center of gravity. So if you're wearing this might try to pull away because that's how gravity works. This will bring that load closer to you and keep you more supported, keep this from throwing you off balance as much. Then you have a waist belt here. And these are generally going to have some kind of padding on a backpacking pack. And belt closed, tighten. A frameless pack may or may not have a waist belt, and certainly may or may not have any padding on it. Also, a lot of these will have hip belt pockets like these. And how big those are is really going to vary. How accessible they are, how easy to zip up, etc. really will vary by the pack. Then you have the main compartment of the pack, which is where the majority of your belongings are going to be. Some packs will also have a sleeping bag compartment down in the bottom. The usefulness of this, yeah, you can see from my face my opinion of that. But there's a zipper in the bottom, and usually a little divider that I don't even have secured on mine right here. But this will divide it from the rest of your pack, and then you can put your sleeping bag in here, in theory. Part of why I'm not a big fan of these is until I had a quilt, I never had a sleeping bag that was even small enough to fit in there. The other reason is my sleeping bag is not the first thing I'm going to pull out of my pack. I've really not found a lot of use in the sleeping bag compartment. your mileage may vary. Going into the closure types, this is what's called a roll top. You can see why it is called a roll top, like that. And then it usually will snap shut, or you can snap them down to the pack itself. So let's see, on this one, I believe it's, yeah, down here, you would snap it like that, which is not usually what I do personally. So if you don't use the top lid, you can do it like that on this particular one. Some of them, that is the main design of it. Other packs will have a cinch top or drawstring. And so this one, for example, has that. And so you can use this extra space for extra volume, or you can tighten it down like so. So if you have that full, it's kind of nice to have that extra space. And then this particular one has a strap that goes over it. I like to loop this through. But if you don't have a lot of volume in there, you can cinch this down with that strap on this model. Not every model is going to have that. For example, this one, also made by the same maker, does not have that strap on top. But this is also a 38-liter pack versus an 80-liter pack. All of these packs also have what's called a top lid or brain. This one is at home, but it does have one, and this one actually can be detached, obviously. A lot of them do come off because you can use it as a day pack or as a waist pack. So this one, for example, does come off to be used that way. Most backpacking backpacks will also have a hydration sleeve on the inside. And so this is a pocket for a hydration reservoir to go inside. And then there will usually be a place for the tube to come through, and then a place to be able to hang it. And they're going to vary greatly how they secure here. Especially if it's, say, for example, an Osprey, which also makes reservoirs. They're going to make it compatible with what they make. You may have to kind of jerry-rig it a little bit to make it work for your reservoir and your pack. In some backpacks, like this one, that sleeve can actually be removed to be used as a day pack. So, for example, this one here is attached with these little toggles. You can take them out and you have a small day pack. The sleeves are almost always present and almost never come with a reservoir itself. So you can choose the one that works best for you if you want to use one at all. Most backpacks will also have water bottle pockets on the side, and some of them will be more accessible than others. So for example, on this pack, we not only have these side pockets, but we also have these ones that are really nice to be able to reach into while I'm actually wearing it. But in reality, I tend to use it for my peace style. This one has an extra water bottle pocket on the side that is designed for a bottle, but I've also found it really hard to get the bottle back in. Being able to access your water bottle when you're solo is really helpful. If you have a buddy with you, it's a lot easier to be like, can you put this back for me, versus trying to struggle and get it back in there yourself, which I have done on several occasions. And it's one of the reasons I don't often use a water bottle. But it is actually a reason that I have a water bottle pocket on my strap that I purchased separately. Another common feature that you'll see are what are called daisy chains. And these are these loops that go down the front here. And not all packs have them. For example, this one does not have any. But these give you little lash points for all kinds of stuff. And for this particular pack, it has a lot of removable parts so that you can lighten the load. For example, the top lid's gone right now. But this gives you an option for undoing some of those straps if you don't need them. Most packs will also have some kind of compression straps on the side that you can add something on there and tighten it down. So I like when they can be taken apart like this, snapped around something and then tightened down. I wish that this one had that, but those are very handy. And sometimes they will also be on the bottom. So for example, this one has a couple that, again, you can snap them shut and tighten them down. Rarely are they long enough for a closed cell phone pad, but if you can fit it on there, that's a great spot for it. For example, these ones, I thought there was some on here. Nope, I guess not. Many packs will also have additional loops and different places to secure things. And there will also be an ice axe loop, which is also handy for your trekking poles. Some packs will also come with some kind of a front access. So this is the main access point up here, but if this is full, you can access it from the front here. The usefulness of this varies. So it is nice if you have something like a jacket or something that if you have your tent on top or whatever, and you know that you keep your jacket in a specific spot, it can be very handy. However, if you're using a liner inside of your pack, then its usefulness is limited. Now I'm going to open up this front pouch or this front access so that you can really see what happens when you try to access it. So you can see if I wanted to get to my tent or I had something small shoved in here, this would be great. My bear canister is here. That pack liner is down here. So, I mean, it can work. This can be undone here. So this can actually unzip all the way down here. But you can see that this isn't super useful, and I wouldn't want to open this up from this side because especially if you're using a compactor bag or something like that, you're going to wind it up and twist it and then put this on top of it to keep it closed. And again, closing it all back up can potentially be another challenge here. Hopefully not too bad. I haven't had a lot of issues with using this on my other packs, but it is a potential issue. So something to think about. This does add a lot of extra weight and bulk to your pack, so that's something to think about whether or not that's important to you. Rain protection is another thing that sometimes comes with these packs. This one, the top lid is rain proof. On the newer model of the REI Flash 55, it's not, so bear that in mind. But these ones, for example, these Gregory's, both come with their own custom rain cover that fits this pack. I have a separate one that I purchased for this one, and I have used it before. They're definitely helpful, kind of like a rain jacket. It won't keep everything completely dry, but it will help keep things drier. Most backpacking packs, especially the ones that do have an internal frame and are not designed for like super ultralight loads, will have some kind of ventilation or suspension system to keep you from getting as sweaty and hot in the back and hopefully reduce chafing. What this looks like varies very much from one pack to the next, and some of them are more adjustable than others. For example, on this one, there is even a little extra lumbar support piece that's removable, but you can see the curvature here. Given that this is an 80-liter pack, it's designed for a very heavy load. I've carried up to about 60 pounds in this. Really fun to do a 15-mile day with a 60-pound pack. I don't recommend it. Some packs will come with a lot of pockets. So for example, this one has a couple of these zippered pockets on the front, and then a lot of packs will have some kind of like a mesh or other type of front pocket like this. You can see that all of these ones have them. But again, those pockets add weight and bulk. It's nice for organization, but there's always a trade-off. I know I also mentioned that this is an 80-liter pack. This one is a 55, this is a 38. There is no standardization of what that means. So while you can see that this top lid is bigger than this top lid, this pack carries almost as much in volume as this pack does, even though it's 55, 80. Whether or not the pockets are included in that volume is not part of the standardization. So one brand may include it and another brand may not include the pockets. So the pockets would be extra volume. So this is where figuring out what works for your gear really is more important than looking at the literage of a pack. To that end, if you want to know how to buy a pack from here, you're going to want to click on this video next. Thank you so much for watching. If you got value, I would love to hear what you got most out of this video. Write it down in the comments below, like and subscribe, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.